Yeah, distribution first is all about setting distribution as a priority. So oftentimes people, like I mentioned at the very beginning, the main problem is people hit publish and move on. They're just creating content for, I mean, even if it's not creating content for the sake of creating content, they're creating the content and then moving on to the next thing and creating more content. Distribution first in the frameworks that I teach, it's all about understanding your core content marketing principles, story, themes, what you want to talk about, all of that. And but by bringing distribution first in front of it and understanding what channels do we even want to be on, what are our one or two channels that we're really focusing on. For a lot of companies that I work with in the B2B space, it's LinkedIn and it's email. It's like, okay, cool, like LinkedIn, you can get by with one post a day. That's really, really good. Like the algorithm's going to kind of tease that out and take that. And so when you start to think about that, if you do every single weekday on LinkedIn, that's only 25 posts a month, or 20 posts a month roughly. And so you don't need that much. That's not that much content when you think about how much emphasis is already putting, or some of these companies have, hundreds of thousands of blogs. And so it's just reverse engineering that back to say, okay, we wait a second. Why are we creating 4 blog posts a month then if 10% of them are ranking on Google and we're not distributing? Like as soon as you do that audit on your content and look at like what's getting created and then audit that compared to what's getting distributed, it's very, very clear that most companies are creating too much content. And so that's where the distribution first framework comes in, is it's really pulling that and like kind of getting your head out of the sand a little bit to see what's actually happening. I kind of talk about it in some ways like I think about it sort of like budgeting. Like you can just kind of like spend money pretty easily, right? Like if you don't have an idea, like it'll just spend it. You'll get it and you'll spend it. It takes intentionality to like sit down and like understand where that money's going and then have a plan to actually spend that money, save that money, et cetera, to be able to know what's happening. And so I think it's very similar with content folks.